Hi.
Hello.
My question has to do with your performance style,
Uh-huh.
and the way that your poems seem to almost have a commentary on themselves. And I thought it was really interesting. And I'm curious, how much do you actually rehearse that and work on that performance, and how much of that is just how you feel the poem that you've written, or how it comes out?
Always, always just go with what is there. I mean, the practice is that you say anything long enough, it gets down to like muscle memory. So then now, once it gets, and it'll take a little while for something to, it'll take me probably like 3-4 months after actually getting a poem in my head, 3-4 months of saying it in front of people, to where it's really like, then I can hold a conversation with myself and say it at the same time. And it's in that kind of like space I can deal with, I can really just use anything going on in the poem, in the room, ideally in the poem. But we are defensive creatures, you know what I mean? And so sometimes you riff off of what you perceive to not be there, right? So it can always be a healthy thing. I stumbled onto something. I was doing a poem, right, for this school class, and it was like a few students in the back, right, that were just all on their laptops and devices and this type of thing, and come to find out later though that they were like typing to each other, "He's great," you know what I mean?
Changes the whole riff.
It changed, but I didn't know it at the time, so I'm just sitting there with my feelings hurt. But instead of going to anger, because you can kind of blast your way through it, right? Like, oh, if nobody wants to be here for me, I will be here for myself. And you can kind of just take off. But you have to admit to yourself that like anger is a secondary emotion. That before you're angry, even if it's for a split second, you're either scared or you're hurt, you know what I'm saying? So really it's the hurt that's there. Now, what having kind of a more conversational style affords me is the ability to play with lines differently. So then actually to a point where I can, the voice or the kind of representative that I send out to say whatever section of the poem I'm at can actually be a hurt voice, because I can be hurt by the realities of the poem. You know what I mean? So it's just like there's always by trying to, or if not holding your mind in a healthy space, always trying to get back. I'm always trying to walk back to that kind of like most open part, or most open zone, so that I can just use anything. And it's always like the energy is always, in a way, it's like improvised, but it's not. It's just kind of road, And the beautiful thing about poetry, because it's just so like thought oriented and thoughts move so fast, it's just like this incredible, almost like internal flexibility, to where you don't really need anything. You know what I'm saying?